Good morning, children. Class 9th, Lesson 1, Our Earth. Now, in this lesson, what is that we are going to learn? In this lesson, we are going to learn many things like what is the place of the Earth in the universe, Earth as a planetary body, how did the evolution of Earth take place, internal structure of the Earth, movements of the Earth's crust, Earth's grid system, latitudes and longitudes, and how time calculation is done with the help of longitudes. So these are the things which we are going to learn in this lesson. But in this video, we are going to only cover a little part of it, like what is the place of the Earth in the universe, Earth as a planetary body, evolution of the Earth, internal structure of the Earth, and movements of the Earth's crust. Now, as I have told you, we are going to learn what is the position of the Earth. He is Mr. Carl Edward Sagan. He is a famous American astronomer, planetary scientist, cosmologist, astrophysicist, astrobiologist, author, science popularizer, and a science communicator. Now, just see this image. Now, in this image, you find a white circle, and in between that circle there is a small dot, small visible, minutely visible dot. Actually, that is Earth. Can you believe it? That is Earth. According to him, the dot shown in the pic, given all human history has happened on the tiny dot pixel shown inside that white circle, which according to him is our only home, which we call as Earth. This image was taken from space. Now in the image you can see the black area is space and the small dot is our Earth. Can you imagine that small dot is our Earth? Now you have seen how small our Earth is. Now let us see our universe, the sun and the Earth together. From thousands of years ago, humans have been looking into sky and trying to understand the objects that shine there. And they try to figure out how they move, what they are, how they work. So initially people thought that Earth was a firm and stationary object and the sun and moon and stars revolved around the Earth. Is it true? No, right? But initially in the olden days people used to think that way. So when I say in olden days, those olden days goes to the period of 500 years ago. 500 years ago, this gentleman, Nicholas Copernicus, he is a Polish astronomer and he stated that Earth is not in the middle of everything and it is actually moving around the sun. But he did not have the scientific explanation to his discovery. And he was scared to tell this to the people because people would think he is mad. But later on, Galileo invented telescope. And when he invented telescope, he proved that Copernicus was right. His statement was right. But Galileo stated this to the people. And then in those days, church was the ruling power in the society, and they thought that what he is telling is wrong, against religion. So they even house arrested Galileo in those days because when he told that Earth revolves around the sun. But in 1693, James Bradley, he got the scientific explanation to prove that both Copernicus and Galileo were right. So this is history. Now, they also figured that stars are a part of larger groups called galaxy and these millions of galaxies form our universe. Now, people believe that universe was formed some 13.7 billion years ago with a big explosion. See the explosion. Okay, and later on came out the Big Bang theory. Now, do you remember this man? Yes, he is Stephen Hawking. He has been speaking about Big Bang theory of lately. Means right now he is not alive, but 5-6 years ago he brought this concept or this theory of Big Bang back into words. Now, what is Big Bang theory? Big Bang theory explains you actually how the earth formed. Now, in this image, you can see the time begins. The cosmos goes through a super fast inflation, then post-inflation of the universe, and then a rapidly cooling cosmos permits to quack into clumps into protons and neutrons. Then, but still, again, you go the fourth stage of evolution of universe, still hot to form into atoms, charged electrons and protons prevent light from shining. The universe is a super hot fog. Then formed electrons combined with protons and neutrons to form atoms, mostly hydrogen and helium. Light can finally shine. Then came gravity. Gravity makes hydrogen and helium gas. Then giant clouds came that will become galaxies. Smaller clumps of gas collapse to form the first stars. And then galaxies clusters formed. So here you can see the time period. 3 billion years ago, 10 billion years ago, 15 billion years ago. See, in this image you can see very clearly what is the temperature at that time and how many years ago all these things have started and what is today's present day galaxy, how it is formed. Now, as I have told you, according to Big Bang theory, universe was a burning ball. Due to heavy pressure, it bursted and this burst led to the formation of celestial bodies like sun, earth, moon, planets and all particles in the space. Now, let us go to the next topic, earth as a planetary object. Now, see in this image, sun and the earth, right? Now, what is a planet? Before we say earth as a planetary object, let us know what is a planet. A planet is an object which is moving around the sun to procure light and energy. An object which moves around the sun to procure light and energy is called a planet. So, in this image you can see the earth is also moving around the sun, so it is also called a planet. As we all know that the earth rotates on its own axis and goes around the sun in a definite orbit. Now, what is orbit? Orbits are the path of the earth around the sun and they are elliptical in shape. As the path is in elliptical shape, sometimes the earth is close to the sun and sometimes it is very far away from the sun. Since it is in elliptical shape, sometimes the earth is close to the sun and sometimes it is far from the sun. When the earth is close to the sun, the distance between sun and earth is 147 million kilometers. Can you imagine? 147 million kilometers. And when it is away from the sun, the distance between the sun and the earth is 152 million kilometers. How many? 152 million kilometers. Now, as I have told you, the sun is rotating around the earth is rotating around the sun. Now, when it rotates, it must have some speed, no? So, what is that speed? The earth rotates around the sun at the speed of 1,07,200 kilometers per hour. And it takes the time of 365 and 1/4 day to complete one revolution around the sun. And this one revolution we count as an year. Okay, Nana? Now we have discussed about Earth as a planetary object. Now we are going to see the evolution of Earth. See this image. See the explosion that happens. This is how actually the Earth was formed. Earth began to form around 4.5 billion years ago. It reached to its present form by passing through several stages. Actually, you see here, it actually began as a ball of swirling dust and clouds and passed through molten stage, means hot liquid form. For example, when we boil a soup, we can observe that heavier particles tend to go to the bottom and the lighter particles come to the top and form a layer of crust-like the cream of the milk. When we boil the milk also, you can see after the milk is boiled, a small layer of crust, cream crust is being formed on the vessel. Similarly, for Earth also, the heavier particles formed the molten core and the lighter particles slowly cooled and formed crust, covering the molten interior, and the interior of the Earth continued to cool, and as it continued to cool, it contracted and the outer crust got wrinkled and formed ridges and basins. Ridges in sense mountains. Okay, Nana? This is how actually the Earth formed. Okay. Now, as I have told you how the mountains and ridges formed. Later formed the atmosphere from the earth. As it was burning now, our atmosphere was filled with different kinds of gases, including water vapor and dust particles. All these dust particles and water vapor formed clouds, and then, as we know, water vapor cools down and it starts to rain. When it rained, then water was filled in the basins, and it was then that life started in oceans, and slowly plant life and animals, including human beings, came into existence. Till this happened, there was no life on earth, and earth was a barren land without any life for over millions of years. Now, in this slide, what I have explained priorly, the evolution of earth. Now, I am just going to show you one by one. This is how a big blast has occurred. Then swirl of dust particles into the shape of a ball. Then the earth was formed, and then oceans came in, and then small organisms in the ocean started. See that is a shape of a small algae, and then life into these organisms, and then fishes, and then came plants, and then came animals, from animals to human evolution. So this is the evolution of life. Okay, Nana? Now here you have seen till now the evolution of life, evolution of earth and all these things. Now we are going to see the internal structure of the earth. Internal structure of the earth. Now the distance between the center of the earth and the surface of the earth is over 6,000 kilometers. Ante where you are standing, if you want to go deep into and touch the center place of the earth, it is some 6,000 kilometers away from the place where we are standing. Anta lopalku undannamata earth inner core. Okay. So basically, to understand earth, we must know that earth is made up of 3 layers. One is crust, mantle and core. Now see in this image, you will see the 3 layers: yellow, red, orange, and above that is the surface area, right? What is crust? Crust is the outer part of the earth where we live. Manavandram batigedi dan meda. And it is up to the depth of 30 to 100 kilometers. It consists of various kinds of rocks. See the orange part? Orange image, orange color in this image, it is crust. Okay, Nana? And next, what is mantle? Mantle is the second layer of the earth which lies below the crust up to 100 to 2,900 kilometers. 2,900 kilometers means it is the second layer. Now in this image you see the red color shade, and this layer consists of chemicals called silicates. Chemicals called silicates. So the red layer indicates the mantle. Now till now you have learned what is crust and what is mantle. Now we are going to learn what is core. What is core? Core is the third layer of the earth, and it goes up to the depth of 2,900 to 6,376 kilometers. Now this core is again divided into 2 layers. One is the outer core and the other one is the inner core. Now outer core, it goes to the depth of 2,900 to 5,100 kilometers. Now I have told you the core's total depth is 2,900 to 6,376. దాంట్లో నుంచి outer core depth ఎంత అంటే 2,900 to 5,100 kilometers. Now this outer core is composed of liquid metallic materials like nickel and iron. The outer core is composed of liquid metallic materials like nickel and iron. Now the inner core. The inner core goes from 5100 to 6376. So చెప్పాను కదా 2900 నుంచి 6376 వరకు కిలోమీటర్స్ వరకు ఒక కోర్ ఫామ్ అవుతుంది. ఆ కోర్ లో అవుటర్ కోర్ కి వచ్చి 2900 టు 5100 కిలోమీటర్స్ అయితే ఇన్నర్ కోర్ 5100 కిలోమీటర్ నుంచి స్టార్ట్ అయ్యి 6376 కిలోమీటర్స్ డెప్త్ లోకి వెళ్తుంది అన్నమాట. Then this core is composed of iron components and heavy substances like gold. This inner core is composed of iron components and heavy substances like gold. Now don't think that we are getting gold by going to that depth. No, that gold is different and this gold is different. Now in this image you see the red ball, that is the core, right? And the yellow area, that is the outer core, and the brown area, in the brown area again you are finding two shades, see, glowing shades, that is the inner core, and above that is the mantle, and above that is the crust. So here in this image you can clearly understand the depth of the inner core, and what is inner core, what is outer core, what is crust, what is mantle. Now many times the matter from the deep inside shoots up as volcanoes. The matter from the inner core shoots up as volcanoes and settles down on ocean floors, and again it cools down and forms the earth crust. This is the process, and in many regions of the earth, part of the earth crust again enters into the mantle and once again becomes molten. This constant process of formation and destruction of earth proves the fact that earth is still very active. Now the process of formation and destruction of earth annadi manam tarvata nerchukundam. Further we will go into a in-depth explanation of it. But right now what I am trying to tell is, లోపల నుంచి పైకి వాల్కనోస్ లాగా మళ్ళీ కంటెంట్ షూట్ అయ్యి, మ్యాటర్ షూట్ అయ్యి, ఆ షూట్ అయిన మ్యాటర్ మళ్ళీ ఓషన్ ఫ్లోర్స్ మీదకి సెటిల్ అయ్యి కూల్ అయ్యి ఎర్త్ క్రస్ట్ గా ఫామ్ అవుతుంది. కొన్నిసార్లు ఎర్త్ క్రస్ట్ గా ఫామ్ అయింది మళ్ళీ మ్యాంటల్లోకి మెల్ట్ అయిపోయి మ్యాంటల్లోకి వెళ్ళిపోయి మళ్ళీ మోల్టన్ గా కూడా ఫామ్ అవుతుంది. సో దిస్ ప్రాసెస్ ప్రూవ్స్ దట్ ద ఎర్త్ ఈస్ స్టిల్ వెరీ యాక్టివ్. సో till now you have learned about the earth's three layers of the earth, that is crust, mantle and core. Now you are going to learn about the movements of earth's crust. In 20th century, a German meteorologist and geophysicist, Alfred Wegener, introduced the theory of continental drift to describe and explain the present arrangements of continents and ocean basins. He is Mr. Alfred Wegener. ఇప్పుడు ఈ ఇమేజ్ లో మీరు చూడండి 200 million years ago నుంచి స్టార్ట్ అవుతూ 0 million years ago వరకు మీకు ఇమేజ్ కనపడుతుంది. చూస్తున్నారా? 200 million years ago నుంచి స్టార్ట్ అయ్యి అర్త్ అంటే అలా ఫామ్ అయిందనమాట నాన్న. అలా 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 అన్ని కాంటినెంట్స్ ఫామ్ అయినాయి. సో ఆ ఇమేజ్ లో మీకు చూడండి క్లియర్ గా కనపడుతుంది. 200 million 200 million years ago ఈ ప్రాసెస్ స్టార్ట్ అయ్యి ఈ రోజు అంటే ఈ రోజుకి మనం చూస్తే ఇలా ఎర్త్ ఫామ్ అయింది. మన కాంటినెంట్స్ అన్ని ఇలా ఫామ్ అయినాయి అనమాట. ఎర్త్ కాదు, కాంటినెంట్స్ అన్ని ఇలా ఫామ్ అయినాయి. సో ఇక్కడ మళ్ళీ చూడండి గ్లోబ్ లో మేము మీకు చూపిస్తున్నాము. నార్త్ అమెరికా, ఆఫ్రికా, సౌత్ ఆఫ్రికా, అంటార్టికా, ఆస్ట్రేలియా ఇవన్నీ ఇలా ఫామ్ అయినాయి. చూడండి స్లోగా అవి ఫామ్ అవుతూ ఫస్ట్ 2 parts గా డివైడ్ అయింది. ద ఎర్త్ వాజ్ ఫస్ట్, వీ కెనాట్ సే ద ఎర్త్, వీ కెన్ సే దట్ Pangaea was first formed into 2 parts. This is called continental drift.